talking to Mr. Kimball.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
No big deal. Special meeting of the Clear Lake City Council of Friday, June 26, 2020 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mike, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. To the consent agenda, and you have copies of all of these. Approval of Resolution 2042, which is a resolution amending Resolution 2041 regarding the salary of the Clear Lake Fire Chief, following licenses and permits, liquor license, extension of outdoor service area, Sunset Sharkies, cigarette permit, Randy's Neighborhood Market, that's a renewal, and excavator license, Dean Snyder Construction, that's a renewal. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Bennett, seconded by Gary, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
Just a question of a point of order. Since Resolution 2042 is a resolution, do we need a voice vote or a roll call on that?
This is a correction of,
It's a resolution. Usually on resolutions, we have a roll call vote as opposed to a voice vote. I just wondered what proper protocol was there.
for just, we'll pull that one then. Do it for all of them, all right. Roll call for the consent agenda. Mike,
Yes.
Dana,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
and Gary.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Consent agenda is approved. Unfinished business and ordinance 852, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Clear Lake, Iowa, 2003 by amending various code sections. Need a motion to approve ordinance number 852, which is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances of the City of Clear Lake, Iowa by amending various code sections. And this is on the third and final reading. Motion, please.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Bennett, that we approve ordinance number 852 on the third and final reading. Is there any discussion? Dana,
Yes.
Bennett,
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
and Mike.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Under new business, A, 7th Avenue North Storm Sewer Extension Project, Woodford Lumber and Home Review. Mr. Flory.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, just run through these items in the packet here. The green sheets, first item that deals with this item, an agreement we drafted regarding a utility agreement for extension of storm sewer system there, the 1800 block, 7th Avenue North, for the Woodford Lumber and Home site development project. I think probably everyone's obviously aware that Woodford bought the former Superior Lumber that was located at that location, 1800 7th Avenue North, and is relocating all of their services associated with the former store that was downtown out to this location. So it's undergone a pretty significant expansion of the building itself, and now it's undergoing some site development improvements that involve site drainage issues and paving improvements and so forth. So Jason and Joe have been working with the owner and developer of this project on a stormwater master plan for the site that essentially would involve an extension of the municipal storm sewer system. So the existing system is within 300 feet, and by our code, if that is the case, then it generally requires that developer of a particular parcel would extend the city's infrastructure down. So what we have negotiated here with the owner of the Woodford Lumber and Home is that we would have a partnership agreement here where the city would participate in the purchasing of the pipe material for this project, and the developer would bear all the other costs and expenses associated with constructing the on-site stormwater improvements, obviously, as well as the installation of the new main that would be put in under the auspices of this particular agreement. So just going through the agreement, I will go down to number 4. The improvements that are identified in Exhibit A are to be dedicated to the city, and any improvements that the land in which they're located then would be dedicated back to the city in the form of an easement. So Joe and Jason worked with the owner of the lumberyard and negotiated a 10-foot easement. So this storm sewer system, it's generally a 24-inch pipe that would be put in this 10-foot easement and run about 620 lineal feet. So I already have a copy signed of the easement that would be dedicated for the city for this storm sewer pipe and system. Reimbursement under number 7 on the next page. City would agree to reimburse the developer the cost of the storm sewer pipe materials. They're identified in Exhibit B. Going to the next page, just Exhibit A as part of this agreement is an attachment, just again identifying narratively, I guess, the scope of the improvements. Again, a 24-inch polypropylene storm sewer pipe on the north side of 7th Avenue North, roughly 620 feet. There is some oversizing of the pipe, and that's primarily to accommodate properties that are located upstream. And Jason's included a map here for us to take a look at. It's Exhibit C, and generally the area that would be served by this new 7th Avenue North storm sewer would be shown in the red area on Exhibit C, the map there. So it's about a 17-acre watershed area that's would be draining into this pipe, and ultimately then tying in there by the railroad tracks there at roughly about North 20th Street and 7th Avenue North, Highway 18 area. It's where that dumps into the ditch there. Back to Exhibit B. So in terms of the material costs related to the project here, so you can see how Jason's got those broken down. So our cost for the material here is $13,863. I would just only note that I think it's a real win-win on the project because we're leveraging, I think, quite a bit in terms of the construction associated with the installation of this storm sewer piping, which is generally about, I think based on the numbers I've seen, about 2.5 times what our contribution is. So we're close to that, almost a 3-to-1 leveraging here. So I think it's a pretty good win-win situation for the city and the developer on the project. The pink sheet here at the end is one you've seen before. Since this project is located within one of our urban renewal areas, we're able to utilize tax increment financing to offset the costs associated with constructing this particular project. So basically what this is, it's an internal reimbursement resolution. It's simply stating that we're going to float the debt from this project either from the stormwater fund or the general fund, and we're making a prior declaration through this resolution of our intent to reimburse those funds later from the tax increment financing fund. So come December 1st of this year, when we certify our eligible TIF projects, this would be one of the projects on the list then that we certify for collection. So I don't have anything further. Jason could review the construction plans with you if you're at all interested in hearing about those. But otherwise, if anyone has any questions about any of the other items, I'd happy to take those.
Just one. So the only new storm sewer is going to basically parallel the lumberyard.
Yes, their property, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So basically, right now, that is primarily what additional area will be drained? Or is this supposed to accommodate this whole red area?
That area in the red, so this will help facilitate the eventual accommodation of all that red area. So at some point, we'll be extending the storm sewer that's developed as part of this project further to the west to accommodate this whole area. So yes, in the future, this will accommodate that area.
So on Exhibit C,
Yep.
the area that is designated as the future municipal storm sewer extension is not in the plan for doing anything with right now?
Correct.
Okay, but at some point in the
Some point.
future, it would tie into what this is going to do?
Precisely.
Okay, thank you.
Council, any further questions for Mr. Flory or Mr. Petersburg? Thank you, Scott. Therefore, entertain a motion to approve stormwater utility extension agreement for Woodford Lumber and Home Expansion Project. Motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Dana, that we approve the 7th Avenue North Storm Sewer Extension Project, Woodford Lumber and Home. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, real quick, I just want to thank the Lovels, Tom and Jan, for working with us on this project. And as Scott said, I think this is a real win-win. It's another good example of how we work with local businesses to, build infrastructure, promote economic development. And so thank you as well, Scott, for working with them to put this together. Good little project for us. Thank you, Mayor.
And in addition to that, I think a lot of us know that the Woodford, Ashland, Connell family has been very instrumental in business in this town for years and years and years. In fact, I believe it was in 2019, they had their, 150th birthday, which meant they started somewhere around 1869, I believe, right after the Civil War. So they have been an outstanding business family in this families in this community for a good number of years. I think many of us know the Lone Tree Point area out there, along with the, I believe it's the Woodford Ashland Farm area. That's all been turned over to natural heritage. And there's the Sisters Prairie, which is also for public use as well, with a trail through there. So very, very business-wise and family-wise, Clear Lake folks, I believe there are 5 generations now that have.
Lest you forget the island on your list of
Yes,
things
yes,
that were turned
yes.
over.
And that is now in state hands as well. Well, thank you. Okay, we have a motion on the floor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. And now to a motion to approve Resolution 2043, a resolution authorizing the reimbursement of funds expended from the General and Stormwater Fund for purposes of a capital project incident and related to this resolution. Motion, please.
So moved.
Been moved by Gary, seconded by, who are we, Mike? No? Bennett?
I'll second. Thank you, Mayor.
That we approve Resolution 2043. Is there any discussion? Okay, Bennett?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Mike? And Dan?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Resolution 2043 is duly adopted. 5B, Wellness Center Project, 2080 Agreement, Joint Legal Representation. Mr. Flory.
Thank you, Mayor. As you well know, we've been working on the Wellness Center project with the school, and construction plans are progressing really well. Continue to have those meetings. One of the next steps is to talk about formulation of the 28 intergovernmental agreement regarding the governance and management operation of the Wellness Center. So Superintendent G and I have proposed that we would use the same firm, the Ehlers firm in Des Moines, to help draft that 2080 agreement because both the city and the school district have a client-attorney relationship with the Ehlers law firm. They have asked that we approve at the council level the waiver of a potential conflict of interest that may foreseeably come up in the discussion of the negotiation of the 2080 agreement. So that's really what this waiver document is. It's just getting us started to get that ball rolling on the 2080 agreement, and again, just using the same firm, the school and the city. So if anybody has any questions.
Not really a question, but for the scores of people watching this, you might want to detail once again some of the things a 2080 agreement does moving forward.
Sure, yeah, basically, the 2080 agreement, that's the chapter of the Code of Iowa that prescribes for governments to work together in these mutual kind of projects and partnerships and those kinds of things. So with respect, we've got lots of 2080 agreements with the county, with the DOT, et cetera. So, for example, like our 2080 agreement with the DOT on Highway 18 governs who's responsible for plowing the snow, sweeping the street, traffic signals, those kinds of things. So same kind of thing here with this, where we have a joint project with the school district to build and construct and operate, maintain a wellness center. So the 2080 agreement would deal with all the things regarding the operation, maintenance of the wellness center.
Any questions for Mr. Flory? Thank you, Scott. Therefore, I'll entertain a motion to approve the joint legal representation waiver between the City of Clear Lake and the Clear Lake Community School District. Motion, please.
So offered.
Second.
Moved by Mike, seconded by Dana, that we approve the Wellness Center Project 2080 agreement. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. 6, other business. A, Main Avenue Pre-Construction Conference Report. Mr. Petersburg, Mr. Weigel is on vacation. Welcome, Jason. And by the way, Mr. Petersburg is the new office manager, is that correct, of V&K in Mason City. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Last Tuesday, we had the pre-construction conference for East Main Avenue, staging, phasing, scheduling-wise. We did talk through, and it is still consistent with what we discussed at your last council meeting, approving that change order. Starting July 6th, they're going to start at 20th Street and work on the underground utilities up through 18th Street, and then alternate back and forth to keep access to the best extent possible to the property owners. It was a good turnout at the meeting. Utility-wise, MediaCom has completed their work. They're out of the way. Alliant Energy will be very close to being complete with getting their poles and overhead electric wrecked out by the end of next week, but they're pushing to get that done. Worst case, they thought it might take them 2 or 3 days the following week, and we'll just have to coordinate that between them and the contractors. So everything's ready to go.
Great, great. Any questions? Thanks, Jason. City Beach Enhancement Project ribbon cutting July 3rd at 10 a.m. Mr. Flory.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. On the City Beach, so I think we're getting things organized with the chamber to have a ribbon cutting Friday, July 3rd, 10 o'clock down at City Beach. If you haven't been down there since yesterday, they laid the sod, and it really transformed the look of it. Looked fantastic with all the stuff that was built, but you know, the landscaping improvements have really enhanced the look of it terrifically. So if you haven't seen it with the sod, it looks really fantastic. So, you know, we'd like to have a brief ribbon cutting ceremony. A few remarks from the mayor and you all would be appreciated. So I think, again, obviously, social distancing, masking up, going to be important for that. So hopefully just everybody can attend that. Also, we've started advertising for the office clerk position here. Felicia was the former incumbent of that position. She left to go work for another business here in town. So we've held off on that with the coronavirus situation for a couple of months now, and so we've gone and posted that and got a good positive response to it already. The deadline for it is July 17th, so we've got a little ways to go yet, but hopeful to get that position filled again. And then just one final thing's not on the agenda, but been working with Jason and the hotel developer. I still got to firm it up yet, but I would like to have a groundbreaking ceremony out there on Monday at 9 a.m. So that I'd like as many of you as, again, possible to be able to attend. And we've got Public Works guys getting some shovels prepared for us, so probably like 10 folks, the owners of the property, the developers, mayor, council, and so forth. So it'll be a nice opportunity. I know they took the bids yesterday on the site work, and I spoke to the developer last night, and he indicated that the bids were very favorable and very pleased with the results of the bids. So I haven't talked to him yet this morning to find out who is going to do the work, but he indicated last night that he's kind of finalizing things and going through it and going to let the person know that evening who got the contract. So again, I'd like, so I'll get you more information on that, but tentatively, we'd like to do something out there. It's kind of a big project, so first big project in the Corway Park development and first new hotel that we've had in this century, I like to say. So it's kind of a big project for us.
And that City Beach enhancement is just, that will be outstanding for years to come. And that also will kick off the July 4th weekend.
Right.
With everything else being gone, this is really a neat time to have that ribbon cutting on the 3rd.
Yeah, and I think, again, just if you look at next week, the opportunity to book in those things on Monday, a ribbon or a groundbreaking on a $13 million hotel Marriott conference center is quite a thing. And then to be able to have on Friday a ribbon cutting on a $1.4 million City Beach enhancement project is certainly special too.
And maybe it's an obvious thing, but sometimes the obvious doesn't quite stick if you don't mention it. But this is going to launch the actual use of the splash pad.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now the governor's restrictions have been lifted on that. Obviously, the social distancing is still germane, and hopefully people follow those things. But yeah, it can be used.
Anything else, Council?
And the mayor will be the first guy going through it. Maybe.
Can't wait to soak
With his umbrella.
Yeah.
Fireman's raincoat. Anything else, Council? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.